For today's video, we are continuing Crab Week, but this time around we're going to be playing Crabsword. So this is the spell sword version, and the list is going to look very similar. All the lists this week are going to look very similar because I have a core neutral package, and then you're basically just splashing willpower in another color to try to maximize the value out of those few cards that you're including. So we're going to jump in like we always do. 2 games on the ladder, win or lose. Deck code will be in the video description. With Spell Sword, I think that the Apprentice Necromancer makes an awful lot of sense because in my list I'm running 9 1-drops, and Edict of Azura is just a really powerful, flexible card, so I think this makes an awful lot of sense. Now, if this is your traditional Control Tribunal, this could be a bit of an issue. Oh, interesting. I feel like I'm supposed to keep this when I have the ring. I don't like keeping this without a 1-drop though, so I actually think we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna do it like this and then see how it goes. Now, I was just about to say that I really feel like Control Tribunal might rise in popularity, and I plan on doing a video on that as well because it's a very good anti-crab list. I really feel like I want to try to set up old salties into the field lane.
I'll see you dead.
We'll do this. But we also, I wanted to be able to try to deal with Luzra, which is the other reason I kind of went here. But I got a feeling with this hovering they're doing, we're going to see some removal come our way. And we did.
Get this yet.
Now, unfortunately, this means I do not get to save my ring charge for old Salty here. We're going to have to use the Dynamo to protect our 5th Legion. So we will continue to do just that. It's not the end of the world though, because again we have these 2 and then this. The biggest issue here is, one, Hive Defender is just kind of always an issue, I guess, but let's see what this gives us first.
Read my lips.
Take the hero here. Really no way around it. Gotta jam into it. So we've been a good turn if we would have had one of those edicts. I think that's one of the reasons you include edict in a deck like this, is because big guards are potentially problematic. But so is Ice Storm. So
never give ground.
Wow, they are just jamming in those guards, aren't they?
You fight like a child.
All right, we've got 2 old salties.
Mudcrab, merchant. Read my lips. Mouth paw.
So we're gonna use 1 here.
You fight like a child.
I wanted to play these so that they get the buff, and then now we just pray they don't have Ice Storm. If they do have Ice Storm, then
I'm ready for anything.
and we just deal with it accordingly, but they do appear to not have Ice Storm, so that is a bit of a boon for us.
Don't worry, got this.
Did I stutter or something?
Alright, so some of our stuff's gonna get shackled here, which is rather unfortunate.
I'll whip them into shape.
Alright. They didn't have Ice Storm last time, so we'll go ahead and do this. Again, we have another Old Salties. Old Salties plus Steam Constructor, actually, so even if they do have an Ice Storm here, we've got a nice way to just kind of re-flood. Alright. That's unfortunate. That is actually pretty unfortunate for us. We don't have a good way to get through it at the moment. So I think we do that. I think we just do this. And again, hope that they have not found Ice Storm yet, since we have not found any of our
I will have your head.
anti-Ice Storm measures. Oh, okay. So that's also a bit of an issue. Perhaps our placement was wrong. And when I say perhaps, I mean our placement was totally wrong. And I say that just because we also wanted this to be over here, because now we're basically losing out on the 5 damage, but we don't have enough to really push lethal here either. This Seducer comes at a really rough time for us. Like, it's entirely fine.
Speak, citizen.
Oh, so much drain.
You can't defeat me.
So much drain. Alright, I think that we just crash into it. They're just gonna get like a bajillion health, but I don't really see a better way around it at the moment. Because they're gonna get at least 2 triggers from this. So if they're going to get at least 2, getting 3 triggers now I think makes the most sense. Just to guarantee that it's gone. But also, hitting the Initiate Prophecy, bit of an issue. Still no Divine Fervor or Halls. I promise they're in the deck, I swear. But now we're back to a 30 versus 30 game.
Of the living.
And they keep playing Drain.
Coin or your life. Choose.
We will win the day.
Alright, so Emmerich gonna get rid of this for us. This can just go here. This will get rid of that. We'll just hope. I mean, I expect Emmerich's gonna eat like a javelin here. We haven't seen any hard removal come out yet because it's pretty cost inefficient against our go wide board. So there it is.
I
But
smell the stench.
we're doing the
of
best
the
that we
living.
can here. Alright, we're gonna do this just to see what we get. And this is why you do it, because in theory, if we would have got something that was a buff that we could play, then it would make trading into this a little more palatable. Alright. They still haven't found Ice Storm, and we still haven't found Divine Fervor or Halls, so we're about halfway through our deck, though.
Wrong
We're about a third of the way through theirs.
I will keep Sotha Sil's people alive.
Something's got to break.
What's yours?
Like, this statistical anomaly has to go by the wayside here soon, right?
Keep you safe.
Alright, so they go with a Conjurer. Still has Guard, so still kind of annoying. Alright, let's see what this draws us first. So, tough call here because Battle Axe represents a lot of reach, but this lets us continue drawing cards. I think we'll save this. I think I like saving this because once this dies, then that also gets me back multiples. So I'm a big fan of this, because then that hopefully means I'll have to trade 2 creatures into this to get rid of it. While also just pushing as much damage as I can. This is also multiple bodies. So if they do top deck that Ice Storm that they still haven't found on their end as well, then this basically represents putting 3 more bodies on the board, whereas post Ice Storm in the other direction, the axe was not going to help us much.
Speak, citizen.
More drain. More drain.
Rise, my
Okay, this is going to be good for them. They'll activate that Siege Catapult, which is again why we put the Battle Axe here, because we wanted to make this, even with this activated, an awkward trade.
Repel the Outlanders.
And they sequenced it wrong. Ouch. And I sequenced it wrong, because now I can't skip a rune. Ah! Oh, I'm so bad at this. I'm supposed to attack with one of these first. Right? No, actually there was no way that I really could have done that effectively. Ah, well. Either way. These were buffed by this. I swear I'm paying attention, gang. It's a mentally draining game when it goes into the double-digit turns with your Go-Wide aggro deck against Tribunal. Because you don't find finishers and they don't find Ice Storm. Oh. On the plus side, I think that's a great game that showcases what a deck like this can do in terms of just flooding the board pretty consistently, pretty non-stop. And it's really interesting because one of the things that usually holds Spellsword back is a lack of card draw. But by running the neutral package with the Dwemmers, Mechanical Ally and Spider Worker, and then the Necromancer to give you bodies back as well. This package, yeah, this is actually good. This package means that you kind of make up for your lack of card draw that is inherent in Spellsword, so I think it's a good quality fun. Alright, so we'll open with this.
Watch yourself now.
Not unexpected. And speaking of Mechanical Ally and card draw, we'll just go ahead and do that. Now they're gonna pop here. There was a temptation to pop this ward, but then that's just like giving them the 2-for-1, where here they likely take this, and then if we want to use our last ring charge, Dynamo gives us a value trade.
I will have
They could have like Crown Quartermaster and have potentially eaten this, but yeah, I mean we definitely take the Dynamo here because we can take this value trade here. This gives us a quality value trade here. And now we've got good presence, pretty decent control of the field lane for now, which is not easy to do against Sorcerer. But Sorcerer is the kind of class that does not do well playing from behind. So doing something like this, now if this just is randomly one of the weird sorcerers that also runs Ice Storm, we could get pretty heavily punished this next turn when we old salties over here, but
one true faith.
For the most part. Oh, actually we don't even need... to Old Salty if we don't want to. We could be extra greedy and develop like this. Well, and Apprentice, but that doesn't get us anywhere. I guess we could do like these 3. Guess we'll see what the prophecy is here. I actually do like the idea of saving this for at least one more turn. Because again, unless they are an Ice Storm, Sorcerer doesn't have a good way to usually deal with these go-wide boards. So we're gonna
them into shape.
this for sure. Wow. Alright, they are one of the ones that's running Ice Storm. Okay.
Come, do my bidding.
Do they have another Ice Storm, I wonder?
My bidding.
I mean, this is basically like playing 2 3-cost 4/4s. It's just they might die to Ice Storm. Wow. Is this maybe Singleton Sorcerer? If it's Singleton Sorcerer and they've used their 1 Ice Storm, then we probably just win. It might explain some of these more interesting choices here.
Fires of oblivion.
It might just be Singleton. Alright, we're gonna do this first because we want to see what we get from the mudcrab, I think.
Read my lips. Mouth paws.
And I think we want this just because we don't want to give it to them. Just do this to dig a bit deeper. But right now, I think odds are that this might be Singleton Sorcerer. They just happen to hit some of those more traditional Sorcerer includes. There's a negation. I don't know, maybe it's not Singleton. This is just speaking to the power of the card pool in Sorcerer, because this could very well be Singleton because of things like Lucian and whatever, but this could also just very well be a normal one. I mean, they're hitting a lot of the power includes, if you will.
Did I stutter or something?
They're also hitting prophecies pretty well. This is what, Harpy here? Nope, Bolt. Okay, so not Singleton. Interesting.
I'll whip them into shape.
Not Singleton. Needed to get that down while 5th Legion was active for us, just because we wanted the buff. Because now it takes basically like negation and a lightning bolt to deal with it, and they've already used 2 bolts. Well, I guess it could just be negation and then another ice storm here. Interesting. So they're just a sorcerer that's running Lucian, Preserver. Like, is this just... Oh, this is so rough here. So I really don't want to give this up. That means basically giving up all of these. But I think it's still correct. We could draw first, but the reality is there's nothing we're going to get that deals with this in a more effective manner. Well, Divine Fervor technically means we only lose 2 creatures to it. Divine Fervor top deck is actually a victory. I think we take the risk here. I mean, it basically means that we're going to lose both of these. Oh! Alright, so... we know that it's not a neutral card on top. Rip. Everything about that was bad for us. We needed to draw Divine Fervor, not for it to be on top. So, like, we needed it to be Yep, there's the fervor. I don't think we develop it because it's just an easy Shadowfen, and this is a deck that's definitely running Shadowfen. I think we might lose to this. Just because this was a sorcerer deck that was running Ice Storm. Bravo. So we could play Automaton there, but the reason I'm holding is if we top deck like Steam Constructor, it activates it. If we play Automaton, and then next turn we top deck like Edict, Edict plus Fervor still doesn't represent lethal, so I think it's a safe save. The issue is that they're trying to set up an Alpha Strike here soon, so we've basically got to top deck another answer in the next like 2 turns.
Are you listening to me?
Thorana as well, huh?
Careful there,
Plus
friend.
the Word Crafter. Very surprised that they haven't attacked at all.
Mudcrab,
Come on, mudcrab.
read my lips. Mouth paws.
We're gonna take this because we want to go like this and like this.
Guide us.
Because that at least puts 1 creature out of Ice Storm range, but could just be dead here as well. I mean, they have 23 damage on the board. That's why I was so confused that they didn't at least get me to 26, right? I'm on Spell Sword. I'm not running like a lit. If you put me on 26 and you have, you know, 3 more damage, like a Satanine. I mean, they have used all their lightning bolts. Lightning bolt has been a bit of a bane for me lately, if you have watched the other video.
Now, where was I?
Turns out lightning bolt's still good. Still annoying. Yep, there's the Shadowfen. Remember when I said Shadowfen is a thing? There it is.
You've not seen my
Almost
like.
halfway through our deck. Wow, and they run Worm King? This is somebody after my own heart. We have 2 Edicts left in the deck.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us. Did I?
Yeah, I think we just do it. And we're basically just trying to set it up where we've got a creature protected that can attack for 3, and then top deck Edict, right? Like that's really all we're going for here.
Your blood will spill.
So they must have another Worm King, or they just really wanted to cycle. Like I'm very confused by the Daggerfall to leave this alive, because again, we only have 2 Edicts left, but if we top deck an Edict, then we just win.
Mudcrab, merchant.
Come on.
Read my lips. Mouth paws.
Interesting. Interesting. Iron means that I guaranteed win next turn, but I have to live till next turn, and they definitely have lethal on the board. Icewing theoretically would save me here, but I don't have enough to play it, so I mean, I guess we take... the iron, it doesn't matter. We needed to find Edict this turn. Oh! Oh!
You
GG.
spineless coward.
GG. Alright, so I mean, we lost to Ice Storm. Just feels bad because it was in Sorcerer, randomly. We're supposed to lose to Ice Storm decks, but just feels bad. Lost to Ice Storm and 3 Lightning Bolts. I don't know what it is with Lightning Bolt lately, but it doesn't like me. So anyway, that's 2 games, win or lose. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and until next time, may you walk on warm sands.